This week in the field, what's more important, meeting up with other photographers or getting incredible conditions? Hi everyone, I'm Scott Davenport and welcome to In the Field. So this week, the title is Camaraderie over Conditions. And where's that coming from, Scott? So the idea came to me when I was in the Bay Area a few weeks ago and had some time to go out to Sharkfin Cove and then down farther south to 4 Mile Beach. And one of my new buddy Frank, one of the folks that follows me on social media, had noticed that I made a comment somewhere on Instagram that I was going to be in the Bay Area. And he said, "Hey, I'm from there. Would you like to meet up and shoot?" And so we did, and that was really cool. Now, we went out to 4 Mile Beach, really nice stretch of coast, some interesting rock formations, some cool curves of the way the land works. We just didn't get all that incredible conditions. But it was still a fun shoot because you got to, hang out with fellow photographers, and that's always a nice treat. I have some footage from the outing. This is really just me doing my scouting thing and talking about setting up for the shot and so forth. But let me share this with you and come back and talk a little bit more about, what else happened on the shoot. On the shores of 4 Mile Beach, just a little bit north of Santa Cruz. This is really cool looking sea stack out in the back. This nice little alcove of water swirling around. It's not going to be much happening in the sky today, but just scouting about a bit, figuring out, trying to use some of these lines that are kind of built into the rocks here, maybe to point down toward that stack in the background, which I'm expecting will get nicely lit up as the sun goes down. It's time to get out there, do some scouting shots, and see what speaks to me. Scattered around a bit, and I'm settling on this kind of curve of land where you've got these nice little spills over the rocks, the sea stack in the background, framed up something like this, but a lot tighter. So probably more in this kind of realm, so that as waves fill in this foreground area, there's some interest there. Nice curve of the rock through there, and the sea stack in the background. Really downplaying the sky, because that's just going to be blue, and well, if it gets to twilight, it can be at least a richer blue. But the action's going to be in this foreground here. Now it's a waiting game, got about 45 minutes or so before the sun gets low enough to start giving us that nice golden light. As I'm waiting for sunrise to approach, playing around with a little bit of a longer exposure. Got a 10 stop on the front of the camera right now at f/16 and targeting in around a 6-second exposure. That seems to be the sweet spot right now. The ocean's quite calm, but every once in a while you get a nice wave that rolls in and covers this foreground beach area you see here. And it takes about 5 to 6 seconds for it to sweep through. So sitting in manual, dialed in a ISO of 400 so that I could get the right exposure time, and then just waiting for the waves to do their thing and grab the shots. Trying out one more composition, taking advantage of these nice natural leading lines in these rocks here. As the sun's getting lower, there's much more contrast coming in. This foreground becomes very interesting. And the sea stack in the background and these waterfalls in that center area, really making an overall a really nice composition, nice balance. So set up pretty high, a little bit higher than, I guess I'd call it about a little shy of 6 feet up, tilted down a little bit, so I'm biasing toward the foreground. Have a 4-stop ND on the front, shooting an aperture priority f/16. I'm getting in at about 1 second exposure, so that means I'm going to get those nice fingers of water over that center rock there, and the swirl of surf gets a little bit smooth, but everything else is just nice and tack sharp because the rest of these rocks are not moving. All right, set up for the final shot of the evening, or I should say the sunset shot at least. Setting up again, f/16. I have a 4-stop neutral density filter on. That's giving me about a 1 to 1.3 second drag. As the light gets a little bit lower, I'm going to pop the ISO from 50 to 100. That'll give me that sweet spot between a half second and a second to get this nice drag of water. And as I film this, I just missed a doozy of a shot, but I'm going to hope there'll be another one. Those nice streaks, imagine those being nice and smooth, even getting this nice backwash coming. Here comes another one. Time for me to take pictures. As you can see from that footage, we didn't have great conditions. The sky was effectively blank. Mid-tide, so there wasn't a ton happening with the surf. Yeah, but the land was cool, and there's some nice individual spills happening in some of the smaller, more intimate areas of the landscape. But in the end, that didn't really matter as much. At least for me, what I found to be most enjoyable was just meeting up with another photographer and getting to just talk shop, talk about life, whatever it might have been. That's something I don't do as often, and I think I should do more. That's probably the tip of the week of meeting with other people and shooting more. I know I've said that before, and I really do need to keep doing that because it does broaden your vision. It broadens your horizon. You see somebody's looking at a different area of the scene, a different area of the location that you might not have considered, and vice versa. And then you start talking about that, and you come away with different photos. So again, tip of the week. Meet up with other photographers. Conditions, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. You go meet up with people, you're going to always get the camaraderie. And that concludes this week's In the Field episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, share it with a friend, tell your local camera club, your social media circles, whomever you think might enjoy what I'm talking about here would be great. And if you have questions, I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me right through my website, comments on the video, variety of social media platforms, all that stuff's on my website. It'd be great to hear from you, ask your questions. Those questions really help feed the ideas for the show and make me stop and think about my photography as well. So your questions help me. Hopefully my answers help you. We all get better together. You've heard me say that before, right? Well, until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Happy shooting.